Mixtape Queens.
What's up, family? Welcome to another fire episode of the Mixtape Queens Podcast, where we bring you the hottest and most talented artists and entrepreneurs from around the world.
Today's guest is Lela, the host of the Healing Room podcast and a holistic herbalist based out of Texas. Welcome, Queen.
Welcome.
Peace. Thank you so much for having me, ladies.
Absolutely. We got to have a close encounter with you at the Dallas Reggae Fest, and we happened to take your picture, and we got in contact with you and came across your Instagram profile, and wow, were we excited.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you have so many beautiful things that we've seen from your page. I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute, she makes tea? What? I mean, when we first saw you and Asa, I was like, oh, they're beautiful. And
Yes.
I looked at Elise and she's like, yeah, they are beautiful. You should take their picture. I'm like, I'm already on the way. So I think that was a blessing because y'all are so beautiful. I love seeing like beautiful Black women that are empowered and just original and very authentic. It's just something I'm not necessarily used to seeing every single day. So I loved it.
Yes.
Gratitude. I appreciate you, ladies. Yes, I really appreciate you guys' art form in photography. The picture was beautiful, and I feel like you are both beautiful individuals as well. So thanks so much for having me and connecting with me.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure. And we're excited to get to know more about you.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and how did you get started on this herbalist journey?
Yeah, so I am a Liberian native, straight from Monrovia, Liberia, born, raised in Liberia for the first 3 months of my life, and then raised in Africa, Senegal, Dakar, West Africa, Dakar, Senegal, for 7 years. Between those times, between 3 months and between 3 months and 12 years, and then between um, 17 years and the latter, I lived in the USA. Minnesota is considered like my home base, but I'm a world traveler. I don't really claim any specific country or state um, besides Africa, really, because that's where I feel like I've grown. That's where I came to know myself as a woman, as a creative, as a healer. My journey to holistic health and wealth started through me becoming more conscious of the food I was eating because I experienced anemia at a long at a young age. For a long period of time I experienced anemia. So it was really difficult for me to navigate how to heal myself. And then I started reading more, learning more. I became a certified personal trainer for a few years, and that helped me understand my journey more. But then spiritually, my roots as a herbalist has always been embedded into my DNA. So I grew up with like my mother making potions, like we would have Jello bowl. If we had a stomach ache, instead of prune juice, we would have Jello bowl. We would eat a lot of green leaves, cassava leaf, um, kitali, different types of beans, different type of herbal beads that were just tasty but very like healthy. And so I grew up in a family where holistic health was not foreign to us as a native Liberian. And then in my adulthood, I suffered with a lot of different things: insomnia, menstrual cramps, periods, things of that nature. Lots of symptoms derived from that: headaches, cramps, nausea, bloating. And I healed myself through creating different herbal blends until I found the perfect one that actually healed myself and others. And so one day when spirit decided that it was time for me, and I feel like spirit decided I was capable and responsible enough to help other people heal herbally because I had did the work. I became a certified master herbalist. I had spent 2 to 3 years almost prior to really expanding my business and my gift to other people. Then that is when I became the herbalist that I am today, where I'm now healing women from different things, bacterial vaginosis, different infections, menopause symptoms, diabetes, just different things that beautiful people deal with every day. Beautiful people deal with ugly symptoms every day. And so that is, in short, my journey of how I became a herbalist and a holistic healer and an advocate for healing overall.
That is so amazing. I can't even put into words really how powerful that feels for me to even hear that from you. And I love that you said it comes naturally for you to be a herbalist. Many American people are not going to see that as, normal, because we would rather, what we've been taught is go get the medicine from, the pharmacies and the doctors. And we don't know what plants do anymore. We don't know how the earth can heal you naturally without that extra stuff that's not even supposed to be in your system, which could actually be making it worse. So I think that's really powerful and illuminating on different things that we need to be paying attention to when it comes to putting things in our body.
Yes, it's very important. And I feel like it's worse than a COVID epidemic, the way that people are eating. And I'm sure it's not just America, but I know it must be worse over here. So I've heard. There's so many different toxins that we put in our body, right? It seems like when we go to the store, there's nothing that is nutritional for us. It's all GMOs and processed foods and, so loaded with sodium and sugars and all this kind of stuff. So can you tell us how important it is to detox and what detox does for the body?
When it comes to detoxing is really about getting rid of toxic waste. And a lot of people think that detoxing has a lot to do with losing weight, but the result of getting rid of toxic waste is losing weight. And so a lot of us eat unhealthy substances that include a lot of like fatty acids, that include a lot of heavy meats, a lot of sugars, a lot of carbohydrates. And these things are difficult to melt away, to come out of the body without you making a conscious effort of detoxing. And detoxing is simply not just going vegan or simply not just drinking a gallon of water a day. All those things help. Detoxing has a lot to do with you moving your body, with you eating fruits and veggies in place of heavier foods, carbs, meats, different things that can corrupt the system, like dairy. And detoxing has a lot to do with you being conscious about what kinds of foods you're putting into your body and when you're putting it into your body. And so a lot of us want to detox for the wrong reasons, but detox has a lot of longevity to do. When it comes to herbal medicine, I encourage people to detox with the mindset of turning over your life from eating comfortably to eating consciously. And what that looks like is understanding that the gut, the biome, that carries a lot of your emotions. Like what you put into your body, it really does affect your moods. It really does affect your thought process, your brain, your anxiety, your irritability, the level of fatigue you have. And so understanding that foods, what you're eating and what you're drinking, are affected or can affect your mind state, your moods should be like the leading encouraging factor for you to start to live a more holistic lifestyle, so to speak. And so for me, I always encourage the people a part of my community to detox once a month. I have a 7-day detox going on right now that includes 14 juices, 14 herbal homemade recipes, and then 7 workouts that you can do during the detox program, because it's not just one thing. It's not just herbal tea. I'm a herbalist, but I'm not going to front and be like, yeah, drink the herbal tea and you're going to heal. Like, I'm not going to encourage people to just drink herbal tea to heal, although herbal tea is a very powerful portion of your healing. When it comes to detoxing, I'm going to encourage you to also incorporate the right diet, the right food. And I hate using diet because there's nothing about you dying in the process of detoxing. You are really rejuvenating your life. Detoxing can help you to maximize your lifespan by reversing age. Detoxing can help you to rid of diseases that might occur later on down the line. 10 years from now, God forbid you get cancer, you're like, why do I get cancer? Like, I'm health conscious, but like, really, what does that mean? Are you health conscious because you work out and you eat a bunch of like unhealthy foods? Or are you health conscious because you're like eating, you're exercising, you're eliminating alcohol, you're eliminating, you know, fatty foods, you're eliminating vaping and, you know, constantly smoking. Like, there's just a lot of things that go into detoxing. And so it's really mind over matter at the end of the day. But detoxing has really shifted my life overall. I've become healthier in my mindset, and I've been detoxing for like maybe 7 years on and off. Detoxing, I've been a vegan, I've been a vegetarian, I've been a plant-based eater, I've been a pescatarian. So I've lived all the lives. But for me, it's not about the diet that you have, it's about the consistency and the control of your mind and your gut. And so detoxing for me has helped heal and continues to heal my mindset. It continues to heal the way I feel in my actual body. Like, I like to tell people, we are spirits who are living in this container, and this container is the only place we have to live. We chose to choose this container to live in. And so if you're not going to take care of this container, then you're going to have to experience the consequences of what that has, of you not taking care of your container that you chose to live in, right? So it helps me take care of my physical body, which makes me stronger. I can stand for 8 to 10 hours and work and mix teas and package teas and orders and go home, take a shower, go to sleep, and wake up and do it over and over again. Not many people can do that because they are not in a space of mentally and physically being detoxed. They're just allowing things to come in, but nothing's coming out. So that's my tips and my outlook on detoxing overall.
Yes, that resonates with me especially. I just recently turned 36 on my 36th birthday. I decided that I wanted to detox because I have been having headaches. I think it's because of my high blood pressure. And I myself have been on a long journey. It took me several years to detox from alcohol. And recently, I've detoxed from even certain types of music and shows or movies that I would also watch. And I agree with you 100% that it's a lot deeper than a diet or working out. It is a major portion of that is a mental block that you have to overcome. Um, you know, I recently gave up sodium. I know you need some sodium, right? So we had decided to cut down on sodium for 3 days. And it was so difficult. I mean, I researched for hours trying to find anyone that was detoxing from sodium. And it seemed like I just found more people who were drinking salt water or something like that. It was pretty crazy. So just recently I got pretty deep into watching videos of Dr. Sebi. And, I'm really interested to find out more about your detox program. I know I want to send everybody to your website. It's Butterfly Body Tea, and it's BODI, right? Butterflybodytea.com. And you mentioned the 7-day detox challenge program that you have. And you have so many different samples of tea that are available. One of them that I was interested in is the moon cycle tea, which is for menstrual health, and also the breathe again tea for lung detox. Would you be able to give us another example of a certain type of tea? Like you had mentioned anemia, for example.
Like for me, I have suffered through anemia for years, probably since I was a little girl, honestly. But I only found out when I was 20 and I was in school when they finally gave me that diagnosis. And I was like, oh, I'm anemic, like my grandmother was. And I never knew or even thought to just drink some herbal tea that is actually for that, or incorporate more of something that I can eat that has iron in it that'll help me with my iron deficiency. So, yeah, what other tea options are there that are also for the benefit of your health?
Yeah, great question, because it's nice to hear that somebody else has dealt with anemia, because I don't meet too many people who have experienced anemia. And anemia is not fun. I've had a blood transfusion before because I was anemic, and it's really uncomfortable having like someone else's blood in your body. The symptoms of anemia depend on the person, but mine were like tiredness, fatigue, like irregular heartbeats, um, chest pain, cold hands and feet. People would always be like, dude, your hands are so cold, you know? Or like with my partner, like he'd be like, your feet are so cold, babe. And so those things always make you feel subconscious about your entire being in existence, which is not anybody's desire to feel subconscious about their being. And so I started to mix herbs together to find a cure for anemia. And what I found was that herbal medicine can heal so many different things, and it's multifaceted. So you can be a woman and you can be a man and you can experience healing through herbal medicine. And so when I was dealing with anemia, it was because I was experiencing my divine feminine process of menstrual cycling. And I say it the way I say it because a lot of women hate their menstrual cycles. And I am in a space, and I have been in a space for several years, trying to encourage women to love the process of their menstrual cycle. If you can heal your menstrual cycle, a lot of the times you can heal anemia, because we lose blood when we have to go through that process. And so, because the two were connected, I just decided to create a blended tea called Moon Cycle Tea. And there are other teas out there called Moon Cycle Tea. And most people are like, what is that? Moon cycle tea, the reason why we phrase it, not just myself, but other people, is because our periods resemble the cycles of the moon, the phases of the moon. You don't have to be in astrology to understand this. It's very simple. It is just simply the time that the moon becomes full, or when the moon is in crescent seasons, etc., are usually the times when women are on their period. Majority of women are on their periods around these times when there's like a full moon, for example. And so that's why we call it moon cycle tea. And that is a beautiful concept in itself to help you understand that you are connected to nature. And so that should give you a better appreciation for your divine feminine duty as a woman to have a menstrual cycle, because that menstrual cycle helps you to do what? It helps you to ovulate, it helps you create an egg, which helps you to create life, right? So when you start looking at this process, which is what I had to do first to be able to create a healing tea, I had to understand, understand, and overstand my divine duty and divine superpower as a woman to have a menstrual cycle. And then I started to get off of the things that I was on that was just basically diminishing that light. So birth control pills will diminish the light of you having a menstrual cycle. Like IUDs, that's like a cool fancy way of having birth control put into your skin, etc. And just women in general who don't have a good relationship with their menstrual cycle tend to cling on to these, other options, which I did as well. But once I decided I wasn't going to do that, then I discovered herbs that helped. And so this blend has burdock root, ginger root, elderberry, sarsaparilla root in it. And these herbs are roots that are power packed with antioxidants, hormone balancing. It helps release dopamine. It helps to get rid of the heavy bloating. It helps to regulate your period. If you haven't had your period in a long time, this tea is going to help you regulate your period. It's going to help with the blood pressure. It's going to help with inflammation. It's going to help with, digestion, because a lot of women, we don't want to take down food, or, we have nausea when we are on our periods. And so this herb eliminated all of those symptoms for me. And I was like, yo, I am not the only woman who experiences this. So I got to get it out to the masses. And I did. And, this tea has been one of my best sellers in my apothecary, because I think the reason why it succeeded was because I tested it for a year on myself. I tested it for a year on myself, tested it on some friends, on some families, and they gave me praise reports. And so herbal medicine to me is very important. It's very special. It's very sacred to me. I get a lot of women who at times are not happy with my approach, because I'm very, very specific on healing mechanisms when it comes to herbal medicine. For me, herbal medicine is enough. You don't need to, like, one of the biggest debates that I had on my recent reels was like, women wanted to debate the fact that I was like, don't have sex on your menstrual cycle. Just let it flow. Just let Auntie flow. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, no, sex is what healed my menstrual cycles. Why are you against sex? And it's not me being against it. It's me teaching you how to be self-sufficient and how to understand, and overstand your body, so that you can teach that to your child. At 12 years old, your child may get their menstrual cycle. That's when I got my menstrual cycle. You're not going to encourage them to have sex to decrease the pain or the menstrual cycle symptoms, are you? No, not a 12-year-old. If any woman is encouraging their child at 12 years old who gets their menstrual cycle to have sex as a, way to heal it, then I question their ability to mother their child, right? So I'm teaching these mechanisms that do not include sex, because children deal with menstrual cycle pain and frustrations of their body feeling unworthy. I'm just going to say it as it is. We feel unworthy at times. We feel helpless. We feel like we're in so much pain. And when you understand the way the body works and why the body is working the way it is, then you understand, and overstand why you have to eliminate things that are temporary.
You are so powerful.
Sorry, my dog barking.
No,
But
you're cool. You're powerful.
yeah,
You are so powerful.
I appreciate that, actually. And like, so are you. And it's like, I want us to really, really, really gravitate towards doing the work, because nothing good and long lasting comes without work. These pills, these medications that we take to correct the problem are not long lasting. It'll come back, whether that's yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, psoriasis, thyroid issues. These issues. I was suggested at like 17 years old to get a hysterectomy to heal my menstrual cycles. That's a quick fix to get rid of my uterus, which in result does not allow women to have children. And I said no. Why? Because I felt in my spirit and my soul that there was another way to heal my menstrual cycle. And I found that way. And my eggs are popping. Like, I can have kids. I can have as many kids as I want because I healed the issue. And so, you know, that is one of the many ways that you can heal your menstrual cycles. To heal anemia, you can use like other herbs are like moringa, you can use burdock root, you can use ginger root, you can use maca roots, you can use ashwagandha root. Those are a few. Also, to heal your menstrual cycle, you can use um, raspberry leaf, red raspberry leaf herb to heal your menstrual cycle. You can use sarsaparilla root. You can use the blend that I use, which is like elderberry and burdock root, ginger. So there's a lot of different options.
Social media game changers. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
It's time to step up your game with the Mixtape Queens. We specialize in all things social media, from graphic design, music, photography, and videos. We got everything you need.
Whether you're a business looking to boost your brand, an influencer looking to expand your following, or wanting to just get yourself heard, the Mixtape Queens got you.
Want to contact us? Go to our website at mixtapequeens.com. Wow, I'm truly inspired by your message and grateful that you had the courage to follow your calling and share that with the world. So, first, I just want to say thank you. And I think this episode is going to reach a lot of people that need to hear it, who might not necessarily get to hear things like this very often. And so we're just happy that we can have a platform to make that possible. For any disbelievers out there, or like you said, there are some misconceptions about myths surrounding certain
Detoxes,
yeah certain
herbal teas.
yeah like you said, the person that suggested sex would heal a menstrual cycle. These might be the type of people that they don't want to eat vegetables because of the taste, or drink tea, but they can drink bottles of Hennessy and things like that, soda. So it's really interesting to see the feedback, right? Because you know there's a lot of people that I try to suggest, like my dad, for example. He has all kinds of things wrong with his health. He is constantly going to the doctor, paying tens of thousands of dollars for the doctors to tell him that this might be wrong, and give him some pills to cover it up. And he's still not changing his diet or exercise. And I love my dad. I want to help him. I want to get to open his mind to the possibility of other options besides pharmaceuticals. Is there anything you suggest to help when we're trying to help our loved ones and they necessarily don't see the light?
Yes. I experienced this too. When I went vegan, my family, my African, West African family laughed at me a lot of the times because I stopped eating meat, I stopped eating chicken, I stopped eating beef, all that stuff, dairy. And honestly, the best way to encourage your family to help them heal is to live by example and to give them knowledge. I succeed every time I am with my family at making them eat healthier by giving them facts. You know, like my mom, for example, she came to visit me during Christmas of 2022, and she was like about to make some potato salad. This is her famous potato salad, y'all. Okay, this lady can throw down. My mom's the best cook I've ever known. I do not eat any other Liberian's food because if it don't taste like my mama's, it's something ain't right with it. So this lady about to make her famous Liberian potato salad. And she's about to put spam in it. When I say spam, I mean like, yeah, fake meat. If y'all are not familiar, spam, um, it's processed meat. It stands for specially processed American meat. So that should tell you what you need to know about spam. And I was like reading her the label about spam. I was like, Mom, spam is processed canned pork. Pork is this and that. Like spam is from the 1937 when they like couldn't feed people in World War II, and like spam is only sold in like 6 continents of the world. Like spam is not good. Like spam was originating in Minnesota, and that's kind of where I grew up majority of the time, like I said earlier. So she has known spam all her life, right? Because my parents have lived in America like since high school and college. So my mom came over and I just gave her these facts, but I did it for 3 days straight because, you know, in an African home, it takes more than one day to make food, girl. They boil the potatoes, they chop up the potatoes. That's one day. You gotta let the potatoes cool for 24 hours. So that's in the fridge. Now you're working on your tomatoes and your like eggs and like all these other ingredients. Like it takes 3 days to make a Liberian potato salad. And so anyway, my mom finally on the last day, right before she was about to put the spam in the potato salad, y'all, she stopped and was like, no, you know what? I'm not going to use the potato salad because I was right over her shoulder. Like, girl, Mom, you going to put the potato salad in there? Like, she was like, no. After hearing all that she did for 3 days, like, I'm not going to I'm not going to put the spam in the potato salad. So honestly, really living the life, okay? Your family is not going to be encouraged if you're eating McDonald's and eating everything that they're eating and you don't want to eat that. If you're like, yeah, I'm not going to eat that because, hey, I'm on a detox, or hey, I'm switching over because I want to better my life, your family will respect you more than you using your mouth to tell them what to do and what not to do. You have to live by example for people to believe you. That's why a lot of the times people do not believe in you no matter what you're doing. Eating healthy, living a healthy life, going after your dreams. People don't believe you until they see you doing it and they see other people following you and believing in what you have to offer. Like, that's the only time people will believe you and respect you. And it applies to our family members. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to do it yourself, and you have to show your family that you're doing it. While you're doing it, then you have every right to encourage them to do it. And then over time, they will also do it. You have to do it with love. Everything that we do has to be done with love. We cannot help anyone if we're coming from a place of ego and judgment. We can't do that. And so that's my advice to anyone who wants to encourage their family to be better in their health.
Yes, salute to you for spitting those facts for us. And I agree with you that living by example is the best way to encourage others and get them to think about their own actions. And yeah, big ups to you for enlightening us with your knowledge. It's so powerful, and we are so grateful to have you here sharing your message with us. We're excited to try some of your tea. And real quick, before we go, we wanted to mention your podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast, the Healing Room Podcast?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Gratitude. Pull up on me. Get some tea. Ask me questions. I'll guide you if you have any questions on specific teas to heal certain ailments with your family. My podcast does not cover herbal medicine. My podcast is kind of my escape away from herbalism because at the end of the day, I'm still a human and I'm interested in like other topics. The Healing Room Podcast is a podcast where beautiful people share their healing stories, basically. So if you hop on to the Healing Room Podcast, you can hear people's healing stories in relationships, relationships with their parents, their relationships with themselves, and their relationship with their purpose. And so I have different types of guests on the show that are anywhere from photographers to artists to people who have had to kill their stepdads because their stepdad tried to murder them and they had to heal from that trauma, to women and men who are holistic healers, who are, crystal healers, Reiki healers, breath workers. I even have pastors on there who share their experience at being unconventional Christians, to tech guys who work for Google and Facebook. And so the podcast is beautiful. It's a wide range of stories. So if you're dealing with anything in your life where you need to heal in one specific area, you can find that category on the Healing Room Podcast. You can find someone who is very genuine and very open. They will talk to you as well if you reach out to them. They're very humble. And that is what the Healing Room Podcast is all about.
Yes, Queen.
Yes.
That's what we talking about.
Yes, we're definitely listening to your episodes. We got to check out a few snippets earlier, and I'm excited to dive in deeper to it because it seems like that's exactly what the world needs more of. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited to get, hear that and share it with my friends and family as well.
And best believe we will share it because we are podcast people.
Yes.
I'm very honored. I really, really gratitude for you all. Thank you so much.
Of course, Queen, and gratitude to you for coming on and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom and just overall lighting up the world using your superpower, which is your voice, here on the Mixtape Queens platform. And we love you and we're locked in with you forever. We always gonna be that support.
Ashe, yes, I'm locked in with y'all too. Gratitude as well. Peace. And I love y'all too. I appreciate you all for having me and what you all are planting into the world with your beautiful gifts. You guys are very gifted. So thank you for sharing that with the world. And it's been a pleasure speaking with the Mixtape Queen Podcast.
Yes, thank you so much as well. And we're going to have all of your links in the description of the podcast below because we want to encourage everybody to go check you out, to hit you up. Your website, butterflybodytea.com, and you're on Instagram, EarthToLela. Mm-hmm. So everyone go follow her on Instagram. You will not be disappointed. And send her a message. Let her know the Mixtape Queen sent you.
Yes. Gratitude. Please. Yes. And I just want to encourage everybody to not be intimidated with your wellness journey. I want y'all to just start where you're at and do what you can. So that's how we all start. So be encouraged.
Yes. And we're sending lots of love to all of our listeners around the world in 19 countries. Lots of love and light to you, and you as well, Queen. We're sending you lots of love, and you please be safe out there.
On the path that I'm showing.
Peace. Peace.
Rise like a phoenix into a realm of the unknown.